In Holden, a town just outside of Worcester, Massachusetts, Dan and Debbie Floyd, along with their 3 children, Asa, Kylie, and Ben, are your typical American family. Life revolves around the activities of the kids, sports, dance, and school. But what loomed on the horizon would shake their family forever. Asa Floyd, a sophomore at Worcester Academy, is your normal, well-liked teenager whose connection with his friends and family are very strong.
Asa's a great teammate. He's a great player and he's an even better kid.
He's always when everyone's down and stuff, he always makes everybody come up
every day and asks, if I want to eat with him, do anything with him. I would say I didn't really grow close to him until that baseball season coming up, and from there on, he was one of my best friends.
Well, my brother is definitely my best friend. We've been through through so much together, and we're always there for each other and nothing less. So he's my go-to person if I ever need anything.
Well, I think everyone in our family is a little competitive with sports, and that I find that enjoyable.
Growing up, Asa carried unique characteristics at a very young age.
Where do I begin? I mean, he's been tremendous since day one. He really has. He's been always very well behaved, very polite. The compliments we always get in regards to how he handles himself and how respectful he is, and I feel very blessed. We feel very blessed that he's turned out the way he has.
People describe him as an old soul, but I remember when he was 2, he never met my father, passed away many, many years ago, but we talk about him a lot. And we were here in this room, and he was going out onto the back deck with a few balloons, and I said, Asa, what are you doing? Where are you going? Everybody had left from his party. And he said, well, I never met Angel Pa, and that's what all the kids call him. He said, so I'm just going to send them some balloons from my party.
Along with his excellent qualities, at a young age, Asa also found his passion for sports.
2 or 3, I really enjoyed picking up a bat and throwing a baseball around, as well as football, basketball.
I mean, he's the kid a lot of kids that he goes to school with that, slept with the ball every night, whatever sport he was playing, or...
Through the years, Asa's hard-working mindset pushed him to be a standout athlete.
I recruited Asa primarily probably starting the fall of his 8th grade year, so I've known him in the family. And he started basically the first game as a freshman at defensive back. And then later on the season, a quarterback, and last year he was our quarterback. He's got so much character and so much leadership, and he knows that in football, the system really goes through him. The offense that we run, the show is the quarterback. The quarterback will run the ball 20 times, throw the ball 20 times, and hand the ball off 20 times. He is the show. I had absolutely 100% confidence in Asa as a sophomore to lead this team, and will have, for the next 2 years. So we're expecting, we're expecting more. We're expecting a lot, but again, he can handle the pressure.
Him growing up in the town over in Holden, I'd heard quite a bit of, how good of an athlete he was. We're lucky enough to have him come to Worcester Academy, and his impact immediately was felt all around campus. His leadership is really quite impressive for a kid who's 16 years old. And to be a sophomore captain on a team, a prep school team that has postgrads, is no easy task. He's handled himself very well. Statistically, he's off the charts, and playing a position like catcher, a true leadership position as it is, it seems the kids have really responded well to not only how he handles himself on the field, but off the field as well.
For his career, competing on the field, he always studied his next opponent. But in December of 2017, he was blindsided with his toughest battle yet. What was thought to be a lingering football injury forced the Floyd family to schedule a meeting with Asa's doctor. After several tests and scans, the diagnosis was much worse than expected.
Sit there and think, this isn't going to happen to you, because you never know what situation you're going to be put in.
In late December, Asa was diagnosed with testicular cancer.
So when I came, I was a few minutes late to the follow-up appointment after all the tests and that day, and I came in.
And then I heard the knock on the door, and it was my mom. My heart kind of sunk, because...
Our eyes locked, and he said, well, it's not what we thought it was. And, it just, I'm sorry, it does take your breath away.
Kind of to see that look on her face, it was scared, and and everything, it was like heartbreaking to me. Like, I can't even like explain my emotions.
Not only was this a surprise for the Floyd family, but everyone in Asa's corner was stunned.
Devastating. A kid this talented, academically, athletically, socially, just devastation.
To be honest, once we heard the initial that there was something wrong, it was pretty shocking. Even, talking with him every day and then finding out that it was cancer was incredible.
I couldn't believe it. I was, Ace is a young, fit guy, and it just didn't make any sense. So,
being the medical person, I wanted to be there, and like, it's not something you can fix with, an ACE wrap or stretching.
I was originally like in shock. Obviously you're going on Google, you're looking up like the percentages. You're like, oh shoot, like this really sucks.
With the help of his medical team and the rehabilitation crew at Worcester Academy, Asa made a remarkable recovery, officially cancer-free in February of 2018.
Not surprised, but emotion.
He set the tone for this whole situation. He really did. From day one, when we got the diagnosis, he never panicked. He never freaked out.
This journey also taught Asa not to take things for granted.
I look at life so differently now. Like, you need to enjoy every moment of it, like, because you never know when anything's gonna change.
This did not end Asa's battle. He knew his experience could be influential.
I remember it was a couple months ago, Meg and I had a conversation at Riley's office. It was like, what do you want to do with this? Like, how do you want to kind of like express it?
He was like, what do you mean? And I was like, so we need to take this negative and empower yourself. So that's where we came up with like, empower yourself with early detection.
Somebody had suggested the 1540 organization to us. So we had reached out more as, I was thinking, more as a support for him. And then we realized and start to hear about what the 1540 does and how they had been there in October.
We first met Asa when we went to a presentation at his school, Worcester Academy, and I talked about our 3 steps to TACT, teaching people how to recognize health changes, know when to act on them, and know how to talk with their doctor to figure out what those symptoms mean to get to early diagnosis.
With the help of 1540 and his peers, a fundraiser was set up to benefit the awareness of early detection. When looking for inspiration, Asa decided to go back to his roots, sports. A day of baseball dedicated to cancer research.
So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Asa Floyd, one of our captains. Here he is.
Yeah, let's go!
Hello, everyone. I'm Asa Floyd. I just want to say thank you very much for coming out today. It's extremely humbling to see everyone. I just want to give it especially great thanks to Meg the trainer, Mr. Millie, Mr. Riley, and Coach Mack for allowing me to do this. It really means a lot. And a great thanks to my brother Ben, my sister Kylie, my dad, and especially my mother, who was by my side this whole way. So thank you very much for coming out today. And
like, the founder of the 1540 went here, so he has a good relationship with Mr. Riley. And
it started off, it was going to be a small little, let's raise a little money for 1540 and start talking about this a little more. And
we're like, okay, let's have a bake sale. And our bake sale is becoming like an event that is bigger than we ever imagined.
It's like skyrocketed. It was something like really small, and people like around me, like teammates, like have really stepped it up with like donating stuff.
On a day filled with emotion ahead, Coach McNamara gave his players words of advice.
Let's really focus on living in the moment, having each other's backs, enhancing the relationships we have with each other, and go out there and have some fun.
Through this battle, Asa's true character shined as he took his experience head on and created an inspiring environment, a testimony that with the right mindset, you can prevail. After this inspiring journey, the only question lingering is this: which opponent will Asa Floyd defeat next?
character, leadership.
A natural leader.
I think the first word is competitor and winner.